Welcome to the Meta One Coin Report, exploring the world of private digital currency through the eyes of human rights and empowerment of humanity. Here's the host of the Meta One Coin Report, Leanne Carroll.
This is Leanne with the Meta One Coin Report. Today we have Robert P. Dunlap, Executive Trustee for Meta One Coin Trust. Hi, Robert. Welcome to the program.
Hey, Leanne. How are you doing? Thanks for having me again.
You're welcome. You want to talk about what's going on in America right now? You want to talk about the events of January 20th in D.C.?
Absolutely. I would love to talk about that. Thanks for asking. We're sitting there watching this unfold. This I'm referring to the electorate process, if you will, between President Trump and Biden. It's amazing. It's amazing what I've seen, and I have a legal international legal practice, and we're very aware of a lot of the things that are happening internationally regarding the matter. So I have a little bit deeper understanding than maybe the regular average person watching, Fox News or CNN or whatever the news outlet might be. So when I see these things, it's such a reminder on why we are who we are as Meta One Coin. So when you see the sitting president get silenced on all news outlets and all social media for whatever reasons, right? I find it amazing. And when I see many federal judges not understand what direct fact is by way of an affidavit, I find that amazing. It's the life I've been living, right, for the last decade. So it's very refreshing to see that it's not just us, it's also the president of the United States with the unlimited resources and unlimited teams. They're shown the same persecution. So this process of election isn't an election. It's by term, it's a legal coup, or it's an illegal coup. So I wouldn't consider it an election at all. I would consider it a coup in its entirety. It's a textbook coup. I've never seen an inauguration with more soldiers than citizens.
What do you think the purpose of all the soldiers were? Do you think they were making a display? I mean, it took quite a bit of effort to bring all those soldiers in, and most of the spectators were flags.
Yeah, it's a symbolism of the entirety of, or the brevity of the situation. It was a coup. Where do you see 20,000 or whatever the number was of soldiers of whatever unit? That's it. The soldiers. the sitting president wasn't there because it's a contested inauguration. It's a contested election. That was a coup, and we know that there's many legal matters that are still in action regarding the coup, and we will see that we've just started this process. However, these things that I'm hoping the entire United States population saw this, and this has nothing to do with politics. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I don't care either way. And the more you know about these things, there is no separation, obviously energetically in life, but specifically in leadership. So regardless of that, I don't care about I don't want people to think, well, he's a Republican or he's a Democrat. I'm none of the above. But when you watch this happen, it strengthens everything we've done. And I've been very aware that presidents aren't elected. The popular vote hasn't mattered in 60 years, in my opinion, if not hundreds of years. That's probably too long. But regardless, popular vote hasn't mattered. I've always known the elections were completely selected. The candidates were selected. The presidents were selected. There's no popular vote. Obviously, the electorate is another magic group of people, right? That obviously aren't representative of the people, or allegedly they are, but nothing is as it seems. I've been very aware that the entirety of the political process is nothing more than theatrical. It's a Shakespearean sonnet. And if you think it's not, keep watching. So but anyway, it gave us, it gave not us, we're very aware of this, but I believe it gave the 320 million humans that live on North America, called Americans, it gave them the opportunity to see what we see. And maybe 75 million saw it, not the 320, but regardless, 75 million saw the biggest, amazing conspiracy play out slowly and painfully over however many weeks, months, whatever it was. So it was hard to watch. But it was very telling, and I believe it gives lots of other humans in North America, Americans, whatever you want to call yourself, the opportunity to search for an alternative in which we've been creating for some time now. So I'm an observer in this theatrical action. So
it is absolutely fantastic to watch people see what's going on and begin to ask questions and wake up and find out the truth. And really, the treatment that Trump got in the courts is very similar to the treatment that you witnessed, earlier in your career and even now. And I'm sure a lot of Americans are witnessing that. We don't even have, with this, the ability to transact freely and openly in free market conditions right now is being stifled. Everything is being stifled. What if everyone knew of their legal rights? And what if we were all secured party creditors? How would that shift?
It's a beautiful thing. And that's why we consider our complete legal service a gift. It's only $22. It used to be $20,000 in services. If everyone knew what we knew, and we're going to deploy it as fast as possible on universallaw.io, it would be a different world. So just without getting into it too much, but the fun part about being a secured party creditor and being awake and aware of what's happening is these federal judges that do these things. I don't care what president appointed them. I don't care who they are, what they think. When they act in a conspiratory way, such as how they treated the standing president of the United States by not understanding what facts were, to me, that's it's called dishonor in the secured party creditor realm. And there's commercial remedy for dishonor, and we teach it in our system. It's a pleasure to deploy it, let me just tell you. And in commerce, without getting too involved, these lovely federal judges operate on a bond. And so these bonds have to be in good standing for them to be able to sit at the bench and to perform as a federal judge. And so part of our remedy at law is to encumber these said bonds with various instruments. And we want to teach that to everyone, anyone. And with these types of remedies, it changes the scope of these judges that think they're unstoppable, and that they are super citizens and have this higher authority over other humans. So it's a lot of fun. I know President Trump is in a very similar court, and so I would like to teach as many people these modalities in which we are in universallaw.io. It would be a different world, but just to say one thing is, when you see something happen, such as this coup, you file. There's change. It takes time. Justice isn't immediate, right? So that's kind of what we're seeing now. But justice is coming. Trust me. I know these things. I know what's happening. And teaching everyone to stand up for themselves and not to ask a fictional judge to rule on their behalf. Think about that. What we teach people as well in universal law is that we're secured party creditors. We're living humans. We don't ask third parties to rule on our affairs, right? That in itself is considered dishonorable. So we would never ask a federal judge or a state judge to rule on our business affairs. We are the judge. So it's a big paradigm shift. And I know some people that are listening to me are like thinking that I'm completely insane maybe by now. However, it takes a while. I remember how insane I thought the guy was that explained this to me 10 years ago. And now it takes a while. I want everyone to understand that. I'm not expecting you to be like, I get it. This is amazing. It takes a while to come into your consciousness, because we've been so conditioned to believe that, the judge is honorable and he will rule favorably or
The government is
honorably.
honest.
Oh, the government is
The
extremely
government's taking care of you, and it's honest, and elections are real, and the media tells you the truth, and banks are good. It's an
right.
inverted world.
Exactly. So anyway, we teach people that they are the judge. Basically, they are in control of their own affairs. They own themselves, and these are their affairs. Anyone that dishonors them, they file a commercial lien, and that's remedy at law. So it's a beautiful place. It's a very empowering place. And if anyone would watch this and watch, what was going on with the elections and coup, whatever you want to call it, really it's about self-empowerment. Donald Trump is a tough guy, but what are we doing for ourselves, right? I mean, it's about ourselves. Are we standing up for ourselves? Are we standing up for our business affairs? It's about ourselves. What are we doing for ourselves? Are we empowered? And I see so much procrastination where people talk about Donald Trump as the savior, and maybe he is. Maybe Joe Biden is the savior. Maybe, Donald Duck and Bigfoot are also the saviors. Whatever you want to pick as your savior, I pick no one as my savior. We're saving ourselves. We're empowered, and so no one's my savior. I save myself. I'm empowered. I'm not looking at Donald Trump to save me. Right. And so that's another paradigm shift as a secured party creditor. We're in control of ourselves. We control our business matters, and we are in equity. We own our positions. We're not debtors. We're not slaves. We're creditors. So it's like upside down, night and day shift. And I know for some of listeners, this is the first time. It might take you 2 years to get this, and I understand completely. It took me 2 years, quite honestly. So it's all good. However, in universal law, we do have a 12-hour study, multimedia educational process with a test. You got to take a test. It's very empowering. Empower yourself. Take the test. Watch the videos. Learn this stuff. It's as powerful as anything that's ever happened to you, and so it's very exciting. So I'm excited to see how many empowered people, humans, men and women, our lives are changed. So
It is. It's very life changing. It's the scope of the life changing is almost hard to believe as well, and it teaches you the responsibility of being responsible for yourself, because it's also an upside down flip from everything that you've been taught in your life. And it's a beautiful thing. And you do all the filing. You do, like, should you decide that you would want to go forward with the process, you do all the filing. You have communities. You have question and answer every other month.
Yep, absolutely.
Lots and lots of support.
Yep, absolutely. It's a support group. It's a journey. It's a journey you'll be on forever. And so we start you out hot. Also, we have probably 20 of the best secured party creditor resources that are published by brilliant people over the last multiple decades. That's a resource on our system. We really get you started. We get you started really well, and it's a gift. So.
It is. And I just also want to say that there's a lot of people talking about this subject. They've been around for a really long time. And there are a lot of people that can make it sound very complicated as well. I like how universal law streamlines everything, makes it easy to understand step by step. There's no confusion. There's no if this, then that. Well, there might be in some cases, but it's there's no hidden knowledge that so one would need to make themselves dependent on universal law versus, say, someone else trying to take you through the process. It's very empowering and very informative and very upright. I mean, these are proven solutions.
Extremely proven. I've used every one of these instruments myself hundreds of times, and they're extremely effective. So it's all about self-empowerment, and that's what we want to teach people. That we want to facilitate that protocol of self-empowerment. So universal law is paramount in our offering. We can't have anything until we have ourselves, right? I mean, think about it. If you're a ward of the state by fictional character operations and procedures, who are you? Are you the state of Texas? Are you Florida? No, you're a living human. You're a man. You're a woman. You are on dry ground. You have to own yourself before you can go forward in commerce. It's very simple. It's very energetically proper. A lot of people that I know have no idea what this is, secured party creditor process, but I get people saying, I don't know, I just want to get rid of all these things. This driver's license makes me sick. Passport, social, I don't like
line, getting wrist, getting a free strip search every time you go to the airport.
I know, right? I mean, look what we've put up with on the 9/11 event. So it's just, we're not adverse to the state, the federal government. We don't care. We're creating an alternative in a peaceful manner, and it's a choice that you can make or not make. It's no problem either way. We are seeing mass market adoption to our platform. It's being received extremely well, and that could be a massive understatement. So I believe the climate is so ideal for the humans after watching this atrocity in this U.S. electorate process, and we're giving them an alternative. We're giving them a new place to operate honorably. They haven't seen honor in some time, and I think a lot of people are very tired of it. So it's a beautiful place. It's a beautiful time. We consider the secured party creditor facility a gift, and we are very excited about it. And it's a great foundation to facilitate in the issuance of sovereign cryptocurrencies that are backed by gold. So it's proper legal. It's all around a complete system, and it's a beautiful thing. And we're very excited and proud. So
it's a huge undertaking, and it's a huge paradigm shift from the system that we have. And a lot of people, we're talking about money, and we're talking about politics, and we're talking about freedom. It not necessarily politics, but political structures, and a lot of people don't know how intertwined they are, and how would you say that the top-down power comes from the banks?
I would say that there's a group that controls the banks, and the banks control the courts, and between between those different facilities, they control everything. So
Okay, sorry about that. My phone was charging.
I thought you were going to teleport or something to another galaxy.
Well, sometimes I do. And the passion you have for this project, and the passion that you have for the freedom of humanity, it's almost like you were born to do it. Everything in your life has brought you to this point, and everything that yourself and your MetaOne team has created is absolutely brilliant. I think there's going to be a big migration of individuals wanting their freedom, not only to transact freely. I mean, it could happen this year that the central banks allow you to control your transactions. and guide your transactions or allow or disallow you to transact. And I really think your social score will be part of your credit score. It's kind of, I think once things start to get really tight, people are going to be jumping ship.
I agree 100%. I believe what you say or don't say on Facebook will be part of if you're allowed to transact. I think who you associate with will be determined on if you're allowed to transact in these older systems. I just, to me, it's a whole nother concept or a whole nother session, but the control mechanism of the human, the fictional human, is absolute. I mean, the concept of any freedom is non-existent, and they're looking at even controlling it further, even more further, because if you're people, like me, where you're pretty outspoken and pretty adverse to the old system, they turn off all your stuff, and they, it's ugly. So you have to be very dynamic, but you're right. I believe that will be considered to the main or the typical human that might be boisterous on Facebook or YouTube. They might be anti-government. Well, I believe in a near time that those different people can have their bank accounts frozen, and not at the central bank level. I'm just talking state and federal level. So there's lots of prejudice shown towards any adverse citizens of the state. And it's only gotten worse. And when you see the president of the United States, get removed from social media and all media outlets, and nothing but some other story published night and day, to where even the most devout, supporters are dismayed. It's eye-opening for a lot of people. And so, yes, it's coming harder and faster. I mean, what do you think these vaccinations are about? You think it's about curing COVID? I mean, the magic virus, the virus that solves everything.
The surveillance sickness. Yes, and even not to interrupt your thought, but they were making it known that the soldiers that were on guard to protect the Capitol, their social media accounts were scoured to see what their loyalties lie.
Absolutely. And that's another thing. I mean, I don't want to get a rabbit hole, but what do you think Facebook? You think it's about intelligence, or you think it's about showing your friends and family you have a cute cat that jumps up and down when you put a stick out there, right? Or it's everything's backwards, and nothing is as it seems. And so with these weird and wild times, it's about, discernment, right? And self-empowerment, because you don't want the state you don't want to assign your authority to the state. You don't want to assign your authority to any presidential candidate, any political party, to anyone other than yourselves. So that's our mission, and you brought up the coronavirus, and I could talk about that for 16 hours straight, but well, just it's another form of control. It's obvious to a lot of us. It's a format to control and basically decimate small businesses. It's 100% designed to do that. So and many other things, but it's from the state. It's if you want to know who your state is, think of the coronavirus. If you're a small business that can't have more than 3 people or whatever in the store, and they have to have some kind of respirator, whatever these crazy ordinances are, it's not from anyone other than your lovely state and federal government. So that's what they have in store for you. It's coming, and it's coming fast, but everything's coming fast. Like the new systems such as ours are coming up fast, and the old systems won't crash until the new systems are up. So it's coming soon. Everything's coming soon. It's very exciting times. We're not promoting fear or separation or scariness or anything. We're very excited, and we're very content with our position, and we hope others are. And we're very optimistic. I mean, these are exciting times. These couldn't be more exciting times. I couldn't write a script that could be more exciting times, right? We have a very slow, methodical coup. We have this funny magic virus that at the restaurant, you can have to wear a mask, but it doesn't affect you when you sit down. I mean, it's the funniest. You have to laugh, right? You have to laugh continually. You got to laugh hard. This is such a funny thing. But these times are wild. It's wild. And this is going to be a wild year too, 21. So we're excited about it. We're very optimistic. We're in the right position. We're at the right place. And we're very proud of our creation, Meta One Coin. So.
Very good. You're at the right place at the right time. How can we find out more about Meta One Coin?
You can go to metaone.io. That's the coin website. You can go to the contact us. You can buy coins with other cryptos. You can go to universallaw.io and you can start the legal process. It's $22. It used to be $22,000, and the cost is just really the filing fee. So we at Meta One Coin consider that a gift. So you can go to universallaw.io, metaone.io for Meta One Coin, and you can get started with those 2 different URLs. And we're excited to have everyone join us. So.
Good. One thing we didn't bridge about the universal law is the trust system, that you can build a trust. You can buy trust packages. You can learn how to use trusts. Not only do you learn about your secured party status, your elevated legal status, you learn how to use it. And there's instruments that teach you that, or there's instruments that are provided, but there's education.
Absolutely. So we create an unincorporated private trust. It's a non-statutory, and we call it syntactical. It's to us a preferred entity for commerce with honor and equity. That's as part of our product offering. We create different instruments, bonds. We have a tax settlement package. The IRS loves that one. And we have more to come. We have a lot more to come. We have some basic instruments for operation as a secured party creditor, non-consent, cease and desist, fun stuff like that. And we're going to keep adding instruments. My favorite instrument is almost ready. It's one that I like to send to judges. All the judges out there know me very well. There are like 40 of them. And so we have fun stuff in store. And more is coming. So yes, we have lots of good stuff, but yes, there's a trust. A trust is a necessary legal entity to operate in commerce. A trust is the proper entity to own a wallet, so you can own cryptocurrencies. So yes, we do have a trust, and more to come. We have tax settlement, we have bonds. It's an all-around good time for secured party creditors, and we are adding to it as fast as we can, and we are educating what we have as fast as we can as well. So it's just an all-around good time, universal law. So.
What a great conversation today, Robert. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for everything you do, all of the infrastructure that you've created for Meta One Coin, for humanity, for the work that you do with universal law, educating the public. The list goes on. Plus all of the charitable works that Meta One is doing.
Sure, Leanne. Thank you so much for having me. We're of service and we're in performance, and it's our pleasure. So thank you very much. Have a great evening. Thank you.
You're welcome. And the impact that you're making is astronomical, Robert. That cannot be understated. I'm looking forward to catching up with you again at some point. Thank you all for joining us. And until next time, live freely and live abundantly. you.